welcome to this episode of Cosmic Crow Tarot, where today I'm going to be sharing a deck with you that is one of my newest decks. I haven't even unboxed it yet, and I'm really excited to do that for you. This is something you might not know about me, but I'm a huge fan of video games. The sandbox games, open world games such as Fallout, which is the deck that I'll be sharing with you today, is absolutely one of my all-time favorites. It's the fact that you can just like walk around and do whatever you want, and it's just really interesting because it's based on like if a nuclear disaster or something happened, and these are the people that kind of lived in the vaults. This is the vault boy. I believe he's called the pit boy if I remember correctly, but he's the character, like the advertisement that the people use to get people to go into the vaults and stuff, and that's like the whole basis of that game. And that's why I was really excited to see this deck existed, because I didn't even know that until I saw it and I bought it immediately. So that's one of my problems, is I see a deck and it's like, I cannot live without that deck, and here it is. So that's what we're going to be unboxing today, is the Fallout official tarot deck and guidebook. You can see there some of the pictures on the back of the illustrations, and you can see here that it's made by Insight Editions, which is the same company that I believe made Stranger Things Tarot, the Star Trek Next Generation Tarot, Disney Valence Tarot, and probably a few more, but those are the ones that I have in my collection. So we can get into this deck. I'll move our little pit boy aside and see what the cards look like. Okay, plastic is off the deck, and you can see there it's a very nice sturdy box. One of those pull apart boxes. I don't remember exactly what they're called, but see, we pull it apart slowly but surely, and there's the deck, and you can see the little pit boy there again, just in wonder of how awesome this is. And there we have the guidebook, and you can see it's very detailed, very colorful, very informative. And the cards themselves, that's what we're really interested in. Now, a lot of times with Insight Editions, or the decks that Insight Edition create, there's kind of like, they want to get it done so quickly, they don't really show enough attention, I feel, to the minor arcana as they could. So I'm curious to see how well they like illustrated the minor arcana here, because like the Nightmare Before Christmas tarot and Disney Villains tarot and stuff, it's just like there's a lack of caring as much about the minor arcana as they do the major arcana. But we'll give them the benefit of the doubt, and we'll look through it and see what they say. Where we have the Fool, and the character's coming out of the vault right there and seeing the new world that lies in front of him. And the Magician, which is the pit boy himself, and that's kind of in the game the character like that you get to be, which is another really cool thing about this game, this open world game, is you get to make your own character. You get to look and act however you see fit and how you want to interact with the world. And the pit boy himself, he's like the little watch on your arm that kind of gives you all the information you need and your inventory and stuff like that. So it kind of makes sense that he's the Magician. There is the High Priestess and the Empress, which is one of the battle bots, I believe. Battle bots, again, not the right word, but that's what gives you the creative energy to go after things in the game. And then we have the Emperor, who is a nice little zombified character because he lived outside of the vault during the war. The Hierophant, the Lovers, the Chariot. Now, I do actually know all of these characters, and I apologize for like not just coming out and say their names, because honestly, when I started reading the tarot, I kind of let go of video games as much as I was playing them, so I don't remember their names exactly, but looking at these, it's definitely jogging my memory of the characters you meet along your journey in Fallout. We have the Strength and the Hermit right there, and the Wheel of Fortune, Justice, the Hanged Man, Death. It's a very cute death card. I like that a lot. And there's Temperance. That's the robot that was in the beginning of the game, like the helpful character when they lived before the nuclear blast and stuff like that. And there's the Devil, and the Tower, the Star, the Moon, the Sun, and that's one of the, like, I remember that character well, the dog, because that's the one that like goes around with you as you're like making your way through the nuclear wasteland. And there's Judgment, and the World, and that shows like what the world looks like after the nuclear blast. And then we have the King of Muskets. Now we'll go back through when we get done and go at the guidebook and see which decks or which of the cards are the different suits. We have the Queen of Muskets, the Knight of Muskets, the Page, and then we have the Ace, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You can see they are slightly disappointing. The muskets, it's pictures of muskets, it's pictures of guns. I feel like a company such as Inside Edition, who gets the licensings for all these like pop culture decks and stuff, take a little bit more time to go through the deck and like actually put time and effort into the minor arcana. Because like an experienced tarot reader isn't going to really have a problem with this particular like illustration, because we kind of had the knowledge and the memory already. And it's like the Marseille Tarot, which the Marseille Tarot didn't really have illustrated pips either, and it wasn't until the Rider-Waite-Smith came along that we got the illustrated pips. But as that was a century ago that we actually got that, we're kind of expecting it now, and it makes it a lot easier and makes that intuitive juices flow better if you have the illustrations that can spark that intuition. We have the King of Scents, the Queen, the Knight, and the Page. Then the Ace of Scents, the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the 10 of Scents. And if we look at these two cards here, the only difference I see in these two cards is the character in the very back here, there's only one, and the character in this one, there's two. So it's just like they didn't take the time to really put the effort in that they could have with this deck. There's the King of Steel, the Queen, the Knight, Page, the Ace, the 2, the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we have the King of Lanterns. Lanterns automatically make me think of the wand suit, but again, we'll check the guidebook and make sure. There's the Queen of Lanterns, and the Knight, and the Page. Then we have the Ace of Lanterns, the 2 of Lanterns, the 3 of Lanterns, 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, the 8 of Lanterns, the 9 of Lanterns, and the 10 of Lanterns. So that's a look at the entire deck. And here's a look at the back of the cards, and you can see they have the symbol. I believe that's a symbol for the vault. So all of those are really interesting, and it makes it easy because you can't tell what's upright and what's reversed in there, and that's something I really appreciate. Okay, I went through the guidebook and I found a little information there about the different suits, and I'll read each one of them to you so you kind of have an idea of them as well. The suit of muskets represents adventure, creativity, and inspiration. The members of its court, I'm going to keep repeating that. The members of its court, represented by the Commonwealth Minutemen, are courageous and passionate. It corresponds with the element fire. So there we have the muskets are the suit of wands. The suit of scents represent finance, earthly materials, and laborious pursuits. The members of its court, represented by the Institute, are hardworking and reliable. It corresponds with the element earth. So the suit of scents is our pentacle suit. The suit of steel represents conflict, power, and judgment. The member of its court, represented by the Brotherhood of Steel, are powerful and keen. It corresponds with the elements of wind. So the suit of steel is our suit of swords, and that leaves the suit of lanterns, which represents emotions, relationships, and imagination. The members of its court, represented by the railroad, are creative and harmonious, and it corresponds with the element water. So we have the suit of lanterns as the suit of cups, the suit of steel as the suit of swords, the suit of scents as the suit of pentacles, and the suit of muskets as the suit of wands. Okay, we can make sense of that really easily, because muskets, have that firepower and that shot, and that's kind of like passion and stuff like that. That can go different ways. You can be kind and considerate and loving with your passion, or your passion can lead you to doing some very, very wrong and evil kind of things, which is what the muskets come in. And then the scents since they're man-made, man-created, you know, that's the characters that they wanted to create because the world kind of was destroyed, so they made the sense to make it better again. So that kind of makes sense for the material suit, or the pinnacle suit. And the suit of steel, you know, swords are made out of steel, so steel makes sense for swords. And lanterns, they have that fire in them, true, but it's kind of like this vessel that holds the contents too, so that one makes a lot of sense as well. As I said, the box is really well made. You can see there, like, it closes up well. And I'm not going to say anything negative about Inside Editions, because the cardstock, it's fantastic cardstock. Like, every deck they make feels great, and you can feel like it's going to last a long time. But I really do feel like they can just put more time and effort into the minor arcana. Like, there's so much potential there that they could use, and instead it's just 10 lanterns, 9 lanterns, 8 lanterns, 7 lanterns. You get the idea. Like, I feel like that could have been more well done. But all in all, this is a really good deck. I really like it, and I definitely am excited to use it. And I don't recommend it if you're just beginning and looking for a new tarot deck. I would wait on this deck until, like, you have an idea. Definitely, if you're beginning, then it's probably your best bet would be the Rider-Waite-Smith, because it has the most symbology and the most illustrations that you can really get to those intuitive juices flowing. But if you want a reading with this deck or any of the decks in my collection, then feel free to leave me a message or a comment under this video. Follow me on the socials and send me a message that way, and we can do it that way, or book one straight from my website. That works as well. And as always, I very much want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one.